Well, hey there, gardeners, pepper lovers, and, well, viewers in general. Welcome up into the Bear's Den. We're doing something along the lines of a bit of a story time today, so bear with me. It's come to my attention that a lot of you are quite interested in the origins of the St Thomas Bane pepper. Now, this is a beautiful little pepper. It starts off purple, ends up in a really nice shade of red, and it's a pretty prolific little pepper, but it's a freak, okay? So, how did it start? Well, that's a good question, and I'll tell you. It started with an amateur gardener who looks an awful lot like this, who was trying to save pepper seeds from a Bolivian rainbow pepper that I was given 4 seeds for from a gentleman at the hydroponic shop, Better Than Nature in Penticton. It's a great shop. It's a wonderful guy. Now, what I didn't know that early on in my career, and it is early on, I'll put a link to wherever the cards go, to the saving the seeds from that particular pepper so you can see what I'm talking about. Looks an awful lot like the little blue, but was a much more productive little plant. So anyway, yeah, I didn't know that you really needed to protect your peppers if you wanted the seeds to grow true. And I was growing a lot of other peppers in buckets all around it at the time. I'll find one of the pictures from my computer and I'll insert it here. So, with that many peppers all around, and I had a lot of bees, right? Like, so people were always asking me, worried, aren't I worried about pollination in the greenhouse and whatnot? And so I had sunflowers all over the place in that yard and garden, so bees were everywhere. The grapes brought the bees, the wisteria brought the bees, the broom tree brought the bees, the flowering almond brought the bees. We had something with pollen all summer, well, most of the spring too, spring and summer, and well into the fall on that particular property. So every bee that went through there was heavily loaded with pollen. It would have been a fantastic place to have a beehive set up, but I just wasn't ready for that yet. So anyway, off topic, as I so often do. I wanted to save seeds from the Bolivian rainbow, and I did not know that peppers will happily cross-pollinate with anything within 160 meters, apparently. Yeah, they recommend if you're going to open pollinate and you want true pepper seeds, it should be the only variety of pepper for 160 meters. My solution to that is now grow those peppers somewhere where they can't get pollinated by anything other than a Q-tip, or just by pressing the leaves of the flower into metal and you're giving it a bit of a rub and she's good to go, right? Okay, so around the Bolivian rainbow chili grew a wide variety of chilies, as I was kind of saying. There were cherry bombs in there, there were standard jalapenos in there, there were super chilies in there, there were all kinds of things. Hungarian yellow wax, I think there were some habaneros in there. There was a wicked variety. And what seemed to happen is that one of those bees trucking all around on the property got himself all up in those pepper flowers, and basically every single pepper that I saved seeds from in that particular plant, and I only had the one, they all got just a little bit different pollen. So now that left me thinking, okay, awesome, I've got this great pouch of Bolivian rainbow pepper seeds and I'm going to plant them all out. And so I did that the next year, and I got, seriously, at least 7 different types of peppers that all came out of that. And they all started off with that same really cool purple that the Bolivian rainbow has, and that, like the Chinese 5-color, and there's a lot of peppers out there that start with that same purple. And I got really excited, but I'm noticing the shapes are all dramatically different. And what I should have done, had I been thinking, is I should have saved seeds from each one of those different purple peppers and just kind of 2nd generation, 3rd generation, and see what came of all that. But instead, I saved the seeds from the one that looked like it had crossed with the super chili because it's just such an abundantly productive plant. Now, you may have seen the super chili, or the Bolivian rainbow freaks in the past in my gnome garden. You may have seen them as St Thomas Bane peppers in the gnome garden. But when they are a happy plant, they spread out and they look like they want to be a ground cover. The two I had in the gnome garden took over a huge chunk of square footage. It was absolutely wonderful. You can check out RevtosTV. He's got one of the St Thomas Bane peppers going in his aeroponic totes. I think he just put up an update on that a couple of days ago, actually, so you should totally check him out. Go sub to his channel. But yeah, okay, so I got these Bolivian Rainbow Super Freak chilies now, right? And I sent a few of them out here and a few of them out there, and I got lots of them to sprout, but unfortunately, a friend of mine was, well, not so lucky. All of the seeds that he planted just seemed to wither and die, and for one reason or another they just didn't make it, until finally the last seed that they had made it and sprouted and is wonderfully productive, and hopefully they'll be able to save seeds from it this year. Well, there you go, right? So you take a name from a friend, you take a freak pepper, you've got a St. Thomas Bane pepper, because regardless of what certain people like to say about themselves, I find this guy to be one hell of a great guy, always promoting other people, always has something positive to say, always out in communities, pushing other people's channels instead of his own, even though, you know, we need to get him up to over 4 digits, people. So like I said, go check out certain channels previously mentioned in this particular video. And I think you'll enjoy the peppers you find there. I know I always enjoy watching the updates. And now he's doing some pepper reviews. Chocolate habanero. I got to go downstairs and watch that. But it's my understanding that I needed to do this video. People really wanted to hear about the origin of the St. Thomas Bane pepper. So there you go. I saved pepper seeds without really knowing what was going on. I got a whole bunch of freaks. I was only smart enough to keep one of them, and then I shared that with the world and gave it a silly name. So, there you go. Now that I have a better understanding of how pepper breeding and crossbreeding and stuff works, I'm going to try and do some intentional crossbreeding, but I'm going to wait until some of these plants get a little bit bigger, and I'm going to wait until some of my older plants are setting off new flowers so that I can use them as the mother and bring these other genetics to that. I want to use the little blue because it starts off purple, like that purple freak, like the Bolivian rainbow. And I'd like to see what happens when you cross certain other peppers with it. You know, I've got ghost peppers on the way, so that could be interesting. I've got caramel marugas, I've got scorpions here. I've got a lot of different things that I can mess around with, and I like purple peppers. So I'm going to play with them. That's what I do. If you've enjoyed this particular video, feel free to hit like. If you got anything to say about the origin of St. Thomas Bane, or, you know, any advice to offer me for my future crossbreeding or other viewers, that's what the comment section is for. Throw it down there so we can all learn from your experience. And that's the goal here on YouTube, is to share with each other, learn from each other's experiences, move forward with stronger, better gardens, and developing, you know, maybe even cooler or hotter, depending on your perspective, peppers. So that is where I'm going to wrap up this particularly weird video from the Bear's Den today. I hope you have enjoyed this little bit of story time on the origin of the St. Thomas Bane. And I will see you guys this weekend when we take a look at all the gardens around here on Clean Valley Farms. Have yourselves an absolutely fantastic day, everybody. See ya.